Hey, welcome to week 4 of class. This week we're going to look at high school esports. And really, over the next couple weeks, we're going to be looking at the different tiers of esports and like where you compete. So, like high school, collegiate, amateur, professional. Over the next couple weeks. So, I understand they could probably get kind of repetitive as kind of we step through this, but I think it's a good way to lead um, into spring break as long as I have all the dates right. So with this, talking about high school esports, so it's something that I've seen develop basically out of nothing since I started getting into esports, right? It's been a really cool way to see more people get involved in the space, give more people at the high school level a chance to be a part of something that, like those who maybe don't play sports, right? You got a lot of people who maybe aren't involved, aren't active, who can find esports as a way to get involved. Maybe this is the only extracurricular that they do in high school. I think it's a great space to be offered personally. What I want from you guys this week, and we talk about it in the discussion to do, is really to dive into um, high school esports as an offering. So like I don't necessarily need to see that like, oh, high school esports has like state tournaments, national tournaments, things like that. Like I want to talk about more about the effect that it has maybe on high schoolers and the things that it could do. I'm gonna stop trying to riff and just pull it up and show you guys as we go through. So right here, high school esports. So this, I mean, is the weekly assignment that I'm gonna have you guys do. Um, so for this one, I'd like you to try to find an article. I don't think that there's a lot of them out there. And if you can't find one, give me an example of a good high school esports team that you think that I should check out. Link me their website if they have one, their Twitter page, whatever it may be, and how you encountered them, and we're able to kind of look at them. Um, I just want to see some effort into like really trying to find that team. Uh, if you can try to avoid kind of the softball of like, hey, maybe this was the team that I played on, or this is a team that I work with every week in some capacity. Find one that you think, and it. Okay, so if you think that that program is just a really good example of a high school team, that's fine, use it, but make sure that you really describe to me how it is so that I don't just see it as like, oh, like let me just do the thing that I know the most about already. But if you truly feel that it's a good example, you may use that one. But if you can find an article about like the health and growth of high school esports, let me know. If you plug that into Chat GPT, I have to kind of see what it throws out. But if you did to get an understanding and that's what you do, that's totally fine. Just let me know that and talk me through your thought process afterwards as we go on to answer the questions. But please, again, still provide that kind of breakdown of either the team, the description, health and growth, how you feel about high school esports. Please do try to find that some type of source. Um, and like, are they successful or unsuccessful is kind of what we're looking at. So again, we're kind of looking at that as a whole. How do you feel that like not the team that you've provided to me, are they successful, but how are high school esports successful, unsuccessful, beneficial? What do they add to the esports space and what do they add for the students, right? So give me a good rationale as to why you feel this way, and if you're unsure on the success, talk about the benefits or maybe any experiences that you've had in high school with the players. So really, there's a couple tiers that you guys can like drop to if you're unsure about how to do this. Um, Really, what I'm looking for here is to see you guys like have a good or at least decent understanding of high school esports, kind of the spaces that they compete in, what are their offerings, and different things like that. So just to like with high school esports, I mean, there's a lot of different offerings. You have things online nationally, like something like PlayVS, who may offer different things and stuff for esports. In Indiana, you have the Indiana Esports Network, where all of the teams in the state can join, be a part of, compete against each other, have a state championship. Um, I'm not sure what Ohio does, so shouts out Ben if you want to talk about that a little bit in your post. But Kentucky, actually now that I'm working down here, they're actually affiliated with the KHSAA, and are recognized by kind of that athletics association as a um, not as a sport, but as like I can't remember their specific wording, but like as a program, that they will compete and do have state tournaments in. They host them in Lexington at University of Kentucky's esports space. So it's a cool way to kind of show all these high schoolers, kind of like what I mean, really Manchester does with the Barton Showdown. Is that the new name? I can't remember. With the Smash tournament. Kind of what Manchester does, providing a place for these high schoolers to come and compete against one another. Show them that, like, hey, maybe there's an opportunity for you to do this at the college level, advance your education, and different things like that. So, high school esports is a really cool avenue for kids to take, if not to be involved in, but to show them a way to college, or to show them a way somewhere else. You never know. So that's something that is pretty cool to dive into and kind of what they offer. But yeah, talk to me a little bit maybe about the formats and stuff. I think there's some really cool ones out there. I think the games that high schools compete in are interesting, right? So at least in Kentucky, the number like two of the most popular esports that they compete in are Mario Kart and Splatoon. Why is that? That's probably due to funding. It's a lot easier to get a couple switches, and maybe some TVs or monitors that you already had in the school than it is to go through and to fully like spec out a PC space or maybe a lab for them to compete in. Um, so maybe talk to me a little bit about that, as to how high school esports can have some barriers too, right? Like funding is a lot harder at the high school level than maybe it is at college, where you can fundraise and do all these things and stuff for that, or maybe there's a more of a return on investment. You can get at the collegiate level. You get more enrollment by having a team, whereas high school you don't necessarily have that. So all of these are things to consider as you kind of move through and break down what high school esports is. So I'm really looking for this as like a big kind of like it's a mini essay, um, where you guys are kind of going through and just talking about high school esports, maybe some of their formats, your experiences with it, how they're successful. So give me a little bit of all of that, um, and just make sure to let me know where you get that information from, or like do some research so I know that you're not just saying it. Let give me some solid examples if you can. If you struggle with the sources, let me know very clearly in your post that you struggle with the sources and that what you're telling me is more experiential or I forgot the other word, like based on what you've done and stuff. But that's really all I have. This is a short video for you this week. I'm gonna get those essays graded. Thank you guys for getting those in. I've skimmed. Maybe I said this at the beginning, but I've skimmed through them at least, and we'll try to get some grades out later today or early this week for you guys. But that's all I have. If you have any questions, please reach out. And thanks.